By. There we go. Hey, I'm here with Pastor Keith Lindsey and Dr. Pastor Hall, and I'm just excited to share for them to share some things about their church and how they're using New Start discipleship resources and kind of how they're structuring it. He had called and said, "I'm doing this and this," and just so I was like, "Oh man, can you share this with my list just to help inspire other pastors?" So, Pastor Lindsey, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here at Inspire Church, we've been a church now for 7 years. Excited about what's God's doing in our lives and the church. And me and Dr. Hall was talking, and he had a vision for discipleship. Well, in the last few years, the church we had nothing that's solid based discipleship. So he shared with me on the back of our connection card. He shared a vision that God had gave him about how to create a discipleship format. And then with that, when he showed me this, and he actually drew it out, showing the little stick guy going across there, and we need to hold it a little closer.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll share my screen because it just so happens I've got that same thing on my screen right here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
now
that's something I've sent you before. Now, I don't know if it has all 7 the next steps. We have 7 on there now. Yours may still show the 4.
Yeah, it says 1 of 7, so yeah.
Okay, so if it's still 1 of 7, then Dr. Hall had this vision, and when he started drawing out his vision, I'd already been looking at some of your New Start materials, and I actually told him, I said, say no more. And so with that being said, the program was launched. We started with our program with the New Start book that you actually recommend, along with the baptism, the 21-day baptism challenge.
Right.
And with that, we at our church, we came up, he said, hey, let's put something together for marketing. Let's look at marketing. So we offer with the book, as they complete the books, we offer a shirt for each one of our books, as you see behind me.
Wow.
And when they complete a book, we reward them with a shirt. We reward them with a $10 gift certificate from different places. We purchased food for them. We felt like if God was going to feed them spiritually, and we'd let God feed them also physically, right?
That's good.
We was excited about that. So far we've had a great response. People are signing up. And Dr. Hall can share what's been going on in the services each day. But I mean, each Sunday, as we've been giving away, we give them a certificate of completion. We told them, this is your book, this is your diary. You come to us when it's complete. Once we've set up our mentors, we have a mentor program going on. As soon as the person signs up, we send out on the website, introducing them, letting them know, hey, thank you for signing up for the program. And as they do that, then we also set them up with a mentor. And then the mentor's there for them as they're progressing through their workbook. We don't give them we really don't give them a start time nor a finish time. We let them work it at their pace.
Sure.
Our biggest thing is to make sure that they complete it. So it's been going great, really successful. A lot of people signing up, and we've already given away. I don't know how many of the shirts we've given away so far. One lady's already went through the biggest part of the program. Now, the last 4 books, we're not going to launch these last books here until February the 11th. Going to launch the last 4 workbooks here that you have. And also, we're excited about the July workbook coming, the Gospel Challenge. We're really excited about that as well. So Dr. Hall can add some things too, of the excitement that's going on.
Sure. Well, Pastor, one of the challenges that we all face is most of our people sit and soak and leave, and they don't get plugged in. And been pastor a long time, and just struggled with how do I get people to progress along. You either have somebody who's really, really interested. That's those few and far people. Every church has 1 or 2 or 3 maybe that you have that are just super on fire for God and want to learn, and you can choose them to be a leader. What we're trying to do is develop a well-rounded Christian, somebody who understands that life is more than just the spiritual side. You got a physical side, you have relationships, you have finances, all kinds of things like that. And so we want to give people a basis so that they can understand how to progress in their life and measure that by how they're interacting with their friends, their family, things of that nature.
Right.
And then as they are developing, as they're going through this, and the beauty of the plan that we have is you can start at any place. It's a wheel. So We don't have like home base, first, second, third, that kind of stuff, which is nothing wrong with that. This is just a wheel. You start anywhere you want. If something piques your interest, financial, or maybe it's with relationships or whatever it is, you start there. But the whole goal is for them to go through. And once they're done with these steps that they've walked through, hopefully they're pushed out into leadership, and then they can become mentors. The good thing about our mentorship here is it's not something that requires the mentor to have to make a huge commitment. You're just there for them. You've gone through the books. You're there as kind of a spiritual backdrop for them, just in case they have questions or that kind of stuff. So that's really helped us to help the people feel comfortable. One of the beautiful things that I like about what we're doing that is developing people's fear level to kind of go down is we encourage them to stand in front of the church when we present the the booklet completion form and the gift certificate and the t-shirt, and we give them a chance to speak. Well, they're all nervous, every one of them. Everybody's like, oh, I'm not a speaker. But to see and listen to the spirit, the power of the Spirit of God that comes upon these people, just ordinary people. They're used to us doing that. But the ordinary people speaking of the power of change of God by going through these books, man, it's exciting. So what happens is every time we have somebody complete one of the books and share a testimony, we have multiple new people sign up for the program. So it's not something we're plugging, out of the pulpit per se. It's something that the people are kind of running themselves, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Been great.
And that's a great leadership lesson. A great leadership lesson, really. What people do what they see other people doing, and people tend to imitate that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we've been learning with the program, of course, as we continue to move forward. In the beginning, I would ask them to bring their booklet in. We wouldn't look at their book. We just flip through their book real quick to make sure they completed it. And one of the gentlemen at church came up to me and he said, I'd like to talk to you about that. So he shared with me, he said, hey, how do you feel about just trusting that they're done with it when they're done with it? And I said, yeah, we'll do that. So we did that. Yeah. It's their diary, and we let them, hey, it's your book that you keep it at home, take it wherever you want to. And then later on down the road, if it comes to where, hey, I need to go back in something in mental or the physical side or the relational side, you've got something to fall back on. So
one cool thing too to add, we've had a couple of people who've asked, maybe they've asked you too, but I know they asked me, can I get started with a book for one of my coworkers or somebody that doesn't even come to our church, but they're wanting to get connected to it as well. So that's showing me the power of God is on it.
Yeah, we have people. We have people in other states already that have mailed booklets too, and been going well, man. We're excited what God's doing with it. I guess the biggest excitement is how God put it together with our church, and just a 5-minute or 10-minute meeting when me and him sat down, and when he showed me what he had laid out as far as the salvation plan. Yeah, here's like you or me, for example, and then we encounter the cross. Because of course we know baptism isn't any good. We have first, dealt with the cross.
Right.
Okay, he switched that off.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry. I'm still here. Yeah.
Too. So anyway, once they get to the cross, we also on a New Start book in the beginning, we tell them as well, just because you're saved and you've been baptized, we also tell you, hey, you can always go back and visit that Salvation New Start book. Is what we call it. So we've got a lot of our people that's went back, even though they're saved, they went back and they started. They said, okay, I want to start like from the beginning. And so we've encouraged them to do that as well. But then with the program, I guess the biggest, we're here now, we've got maybe a couple students are getting close to where they're going to go out into the leadership role. As we put it on our card, some's going to go to the mission field, we know. Some's going to help in other churches local. We also know that. So we know with the program, as they're coming in the front door, some are going to be going also out the front door as we disciple them, which that's what we hope for. But also looking forward to getting these first people in place with Dr. Hall's vision. As it's coming to pass, we're getting close now to the leaders where they're going to start coming out of this wheel. We call it, now you've spun out of that wheel. What's pretty cool too, by the way, if you look at your video,
Yeah.
This wheel, that tire you put on that video that's smoking hot when it takes
Right.
off. It's pretty cool how we looked at that, because when we looked at that, we seen your videos and everything coming fast. It was pretty awesome. I was sharing with them even on one of our t-shirts. If you see over here, can you see our shirts? Do we need to move a little closer?
Yeah, I can see
Over
it.
here on the end part right here, this is actually Inspired Church's new, this is actually our shirt, our church shirt. With the salvation part of the cross, we have this shirt starting with Jesus. And we get this shirt, this one, as soon as they complete this book, or if they get saved, we also give them this and give them that workbook that in a package down front, we have already packaged for people who get saved.
Yeah.
Once they're saved, we encourage them to go and get baptized. And with this one, we do the 21-day baptism challenge. We had marketing come up with this shirt, washed. We like this, Inspired Church. We give away with this a case of water. And with that case of water, that person after they're baptized has to go out and give each individual bottle of water to somebody and tell them what happened in their life.
Oh,
And then as you move it on over to the Next Step program, we have the first one we call mental. With the mental, we used a spiritual holiness book, which tied into the mental side. And also marketing came up with this little guy right here, that squire getting his glasses on sideways. I sort of look like that most of the time. And, but you focus on Jesus. We tried to get them to do some kind of wording that would get somebody's attention. This one, if you go back to we tied in this one, physical habits, to your old habits to new habits workbook, which has been working out great. Marketing, you didn't even know this, but if you go to like chapter 2 or so in the second video of your workbook, you already have this layout, and marketing never seen it.
Yeah.
When they brought the book back to us, we looked at it and it was like, wow, Jesus is in this show. As we see even that come together. Your relational week to week workbook, we tied in this shirt, shows one individual person, plus the cross, plus a whole lot of people.
There you go.
Yeah. Our financial workbook, we're waiting on you to do one, by the way. That's a using Dave Ramsey that you suggested too as well.
Yeah.
And with this one, we also put Inspired to give it all to God. Once they complete that workbook, we give them from the church, we give them also $10 gift certificate. They get their certificate also for completion and a shirt. And an outside source gives $100 to this person. And we go to the local bank and we open them up a savings account and get them started. So our intellectual prayer, we tied this in with your prayer guidebook. And also we tied it into the how to pray the Psalms. We looked at it. Our library, we anticipate, will grow over the years. And each one of these 7 steps will have, it can have as many booklets as God gives us. As you continue to get fed from the Spirit, then as we add these books, we can add it also to our library and extend it. Now, this one, marketing just finished up this shirt. We tied it in with Who is this Jesus?
Yeah.
We tied it into your Defending Your Faith workbook. We decided about that. Dr. Hall is the mentor for it, and he's excited about it as well. These are going to launch on February the 11th. And then the biblical challenge, of course, on the biblical side, we're still waiting on those 2 shirts to come in, this one and that one. We tied in the obedience challenge, the 90-day obedience challenge. And also with that one, we're going to tie in the gospel challenge when you launch it in July.
Yeah.
So we're extremely excited what God's doing. I mean, he's put a plan together for us like I've never seen. And we're trying to actually encourage some other pastors to come take a look at it. Because with it, it's not like it's a plan for us. It's a plan for as many people as we can share it with. We want everybody to say, hey, this is a solid plan. How you lay it out at your church is your church, but you're welcome to see what we do.
Yeah.
We offer every bit of it for free of charge. Doesn't cost nobody nothing. We give it all out. They can even be a visitor and we give it to them. So we're excited about it. I don't know how to say it any other way.
Yeah.
We just absolutely.
It's actually something that, and I've tried, Rick Warren stuff from a long time ago and on through. I've been a pastor since the early 90s. And all that was good. A lot of church growth.
Sure. Yeah.
But this just seems very simple. The connection that we have from the mentors is, I think it's not overwhelming where you
Okay,
feel
yeah.
like you have to, be on top of them every single day. But we have
Sure.
noticed that some of the more recent books we're progressing through that you're focusing more on the bottom of every page. Hey, send something to your mentor.
Sure.
And I think that's going to help us too, because
yeah.
we don't always get a lot of response back from people. Maybe at the end of the book, they'll come up to you and tell you
Right.
how it touched their lives and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I want that relationship to go both directions. That's good feedback. Thank you. Yeah. Isn't it, you want people to be reached out to by a mentor, but as a child in your family grows, you want them to reach back. You want them to come reaching for mama, or come reaching up for daddy, and you want to see that connection grow and go both directions. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, beautiful. Man, guys, that is super encouraging. I appreciate you taking the time to kind of walk me through it and show everybody. And for everybody who's watching, if you reach out to me, if this is something you're interested in, you'd like to see some of those T-shirt designs and things like that, let me know.
Yes.
I'll be happy to try to put you in touch with Pastor Keith and Dr. Hall, and so I appreciate y'all taking the time to watch. This is how one church is doing it. And if it's inspiring and sparks something in your mind, then reach out and we'll figure out how to make it happen at your church. So guys, thank y'all so much for your time. God bless you.
And we just want to thank you too for the materials that you put out. This plan wouldn't be working without what you're doing. And
Well,
so we
praise
want
God.
to thank the Lord for you and how you are so very easy to listen to, down to earth. The teaching is very practical, but it's also like it's your own brother sitting there instead of a pastor preaching to you where you're intimidated. And so you're really being used of God in these books, and we want to thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that, Dr. Hall, and wishing you guys all the Lord's best, and just keep doing what you're doing. We get to be on the same team. I'm just blown away that Jesus puts us all together, and so
Right.
thank God, and carry on. I'll be looking forward to hearing more good reports. So,
Okay, thank you, Daryl.
thanks a lot. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Almost.